I really appreciate that, Mayor, and I think we got just, there are other great mayors in my district, but two of the greatest city mayors in really growth areas, tough areas to govern over, both standing there, Bill Cecil and John Harper. I think they do a great job. This growth is tough, as you all well know, because this is Rockwall, the fastest growing county in the nation. It's growing well. I mean, I remember when Marilyn and I moved here to Texas in '86, there were very few places to eat in Rockwall, and now there's so many that you can't count. But I'm honored to have Rockwall. It's so great to see so many other elected officials, and I'll miss somebody, but you know, Judge Florence is here. I want to certainly recognize him, Commissioner Magnus and Commissioner Grennan, and City Council folks. Good to see you. I'll stop now. I've already told you. It is great. I did play with Ike and Tina Turner, and I did play once with Tom Jones. They both taught me my moves. I've really been blessed with opportunities. I was raised by a single mom, as a lieutenant governor was, and to be able to work hard and get a good education and to follow my dreams. If you had asked me early on in the 70s if I was going to be a physician, I would have laughed, and people that knew me would have laughed even harder. But I had an opportunity to go back to school after going to music school, and then in Greenville as a family physician. If you would have asked me if I would have been a state senator, I would have laughed, and a lot of people would have laughed even harder. But it's a great country and a great state to have those opportunities, and I know many of you personally that you've had your success stories too. But I've been very blessed. I've been very blessed to serve with the Lieutenant Governor. We came in 2003, and he is president of the Senate and was our former land commissioner, and his story is great as well. Raised by a single mom, played basketball in college, and I'll know this will blow any committee assignments I ever wanted, but Arizona, I say Arizona State anyway, but then served our country in the Air Force, served in the CIA, started a business and made it into a great business. And it's one of the strengths that he has as Lieutenant Governor is he's had to make a payroll, and he's seen rough times and good times, and has had to run that business. And he brought that to the General Land Office, and he really brings that to the State Senate as our president. And you don't see a lot of where his strengths are in terms of in the public, because a lot of his strengths, and I think probably the strongest suit in my opinion, is his ability to go into a room and bring people together that are so far apart you wouldn't believe it, and sit down and say, okay, we disagree, you disagree, and start watching that business experience come together of working out solutions and working out problems. And that didn't happen just once in 2003 or the 2005 session or 07 or 09. We've had 4 regular sessions. We've had 8 special sessions, and I see that all the time. And we have 19 Republicans and we have 12 Democrats in the Senate, and I would say the Democrats respect him as much as the Republicans, because he's always been fair. None of us always get what we want, but I really feel that our Democratic friends felt at least they had their voice heard, and of course votes are votes, and we usually win. But he always tries to do the right thing and listens to people, and I hear that from people throughout the state as they talk to me about their dealings with him. And I think that's important. When you look at all the rancor and disharmony in Washington under Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst's leadership, you have 31 men and women from all over the state, El Paso, Laredo, the Panhandle, East Texas, Tyler, Senator Eltife, and myself, and we all get along. We actually talk to each other, and we work out our differences. We did, despite what you read in the press, when we did the congressional redistricting and when we did the photo voter ID and other controversial issues, it didn't blow us up. We kept working. When we had some difficulty with the House, what they call chubbing, you know it as filibustering, and Leticia Van de Putte, the Democratic chair caucus, I'm the Republican chair, our caucus chair, we sat down and said, okay, how can we get bills through that are going to benefit not just Democrats or Republicans, but all Texans? And that's the type of leadership. I think that example's been set by Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst. And because of that leadership, in the last session, we spent less general revenue. We preserved the rainy day fund. We have money in the bank. Times are hard for folks now, but Texas is in a position much better than just about, and I don't say just about, any other state. I don't think there's a governor, lieutenant governor, anywhere else in the nation that wouldn't like to trade places with us. So I'm very proud of that fact that we're doing your work, we're doing the people's work. I am a physician, and I can tell you, professionally speaking, the Republican Party is not dead. It is not on life support. It is more alive than ever, and I'm excited. I hope we get this family feud over in the primary, and then we go and focus our eyes on taking even more control of the House and preserving our control in the state Senate, and we go and work for you, work for Texas, work for the Republican Party, but really work for all people and work for the future. And that's the last thing that I want to bring up. Ever since we had our first meeting, Governor, in 2003, when he would meet with the chairs, the vice chairs of the various committees, he was never thinking about 2004 or 2006 and our re-election. He was thinking about the state of Texas and what it was going to be like in 2005 and 2007 and 2009 and now 2011. And there were places that he took us and ways that he led us that put us where we are now. In not perfect shape, but in really, really good shape for the upcoming predicted shortfall. And that's the kind of vision that he has for Texas. And now we're looking ahead 10 or 15 years, and I don't know if I'll be in the Senate then or where Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst will be, but I think people will look back in 10 or 15 years and say that those of us in the Senate and with his leadership thought about the future. So with that, I want to introduce my friend, and I think just about the greatest Lieutenant Governor anywhere in the country, Deuell Dewhurst.